Hi, welcome to Blacticulate, a podcast series featuring UK young black professionals, where we find out how they do what they do, so you can too. Or not. After all, it is your life. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Blacticulate. You already know what it is, but if you don't know, it is a podcast series featuring UK young black professionals, where we find out how they do what it is they do, so you can too. Now, in this episode, who do we have? We have Paul Henry, who's a business management consultant for Ernst Young. And he gives us, in a very matter-of-fact way, typical, solid advice and resources. Also, he is one of the smartest people I know, personally, as well as, he's just come from such humble beginnings and he's just killing it in the game. So guys, if you don't know what a business management consultant does, this episode is for you. If you want to know how to get into it, this episode is for you. If you want to know the best pieces of resource advice, this episode is for you. Now, without further ado, I bring to you Paul Henry. Thanks. Another episode of Blacticulate. And as always, I get amazing black people doing amazing things. And in front of me, I've got Paul Henry.
Thank you.
So, Paul, state your name. No, I'm joking.
State your name, player.
State your name, cuz.
You should do that, yeah. What industry you rep it?
I genuinely should. Okay, so for those who don't know you, why have I got you on here?
I actually don't know. You tell me. You asked me.
You're an expert. You're a managing consultant.
Management consultant.
What did I say?
Managing consultant.
What, a management consultant then?
Yeah.
And what's that?
What it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Very simply, our goal is to become clients' trusted advisors and advise them on all commercial issues concerning their company. Fundamentally, it revolves around performance improvement. So wherever a company might have, let's say, some challenges that they need to face and they don't have the capacity in their company to deal with it or the expertise, that's where management consultants are often brought in. So we help with things like restructuring, portfolio, project management, change programs, IT-enabled change.
Is that management consultants full stop, or is that what you specifically do? Do you always...
No, definitely. Okay. So I just... it's interesting. When you say to people you're a management consultant, a lot of people say, oh, well, what's that? It's a bit generic. Yeah. And I suppose in its entirety, the term is, but when you research the industry, you start to find out a bit more what it's about and how it's broken down and how most of you in your walks of life would have come across indirectly or directly a management consultant firm.
Right. Okay. Let's start with who you are. Let's start with you. I always like trying to get my guests and just try and, paint a nice rounded picture. So
you want to start again?
Nah. We're blessed. Why? Do you want to start again?
No.
So, Paul, Caribbean?
Yeah, I am Caribbean and whereabouts in the Caribbean. So my dad's side's predominantly from Jamaica and my mum's side's mixed across a number of islands, including Antigua.
Okay.
And I was raised in East London, so I didn't stand a chance, really.
And you've got siblings. How many siblings?
I do. I have one older brother who's boss 1, one older sister who's boss 2, which makes me Chief Skivvy, effectively. So
yeah, what does that mean?
Means I spent my life growing up doing what I was told and, having to perform to a high standard, which is probably why I get on now in my job.
Yeah, no, that's true. So upbringing for you was sweet, though. No difficulties, no...
It's funny, yeah. It depends what you mean by difficulties. Okay. So I was raised in a single parent home.
Right.
Growing up in Tower Hamlets isn't easy. I don't really see it as difficult. Other people might look at it and say, "Wow, you had some challenges," but I tell you what, I had a good loving network. Like my mum, my brother, and my sister. I've got lots of cousins, so I've always had a good supportive family network. That's, to be fair, despite any challenges, whether they're financial or, let's say, that emotionally, when you've got that network, it's an enabler for success. So,
I think you're absolutely right. Your network of friends, family is what gets you to where you need to go.
Definitely, yeah.
100%. So you you've always been academic. I mean, okay, let's bring it into management consultant.
Yeah.
Right, because fundamentally, I want you to almost give my listeners how they themselves can become a management consultant.
Definitely.
So what are steps?
So what I'll just start with is management consultancy it's a highly rewarding but highly challenging industry to work with, and it's not for everybody. So very simply, a career in management consultancy gives you an insight into a number of industries and how those industries work, what makes them tick.
Okay.
And whether you want to do it long term or you do it for a short stint of time, a career in consultancy can accelerate your growth. Now you'll see a number of high profile CEOs or lots of government advisors have at one point in their career spent their time with one of the major consultancies.
What, in the UK?
In the UK or globally, because that's another thing, is that you're not limited to any geographic location. You have to go where the advice is needed.
Where the work is at.
Yeah, so just first, it's a very rewarding industry, but what comes with that and is lots of travelling. Also as well, you're having to work to challenging timescales because often you're having to do things at a higher pace than what the company would normally do it at. So yeah, that makes it difficult, but it is very rewarding. And it can be very lucrative. Now, you won't earn more than your friends in banking, and you'll earn all your friends in law, but you'll do better than most, let's say.
Okay.
From a salary point of view, and also as well from a career growth.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I'm just curious though, because you haven't told me how to get into it.
Yeah, I was saying that because it's interesting because it's
But no,
I'm trying to simplify it. So how do you get into it? So now there is no set method.
Oh, okay.
To getting into management consultancy, you don't go to university and study a management consultancy degree.
Okay. There isn't none?
No, there's not. So effectively, what it is for people who are passionate about business, who have the ability and capacity to help businesses solve problems and identify innovative solutions to help them meet their day-to-day challenges, or to set their strategy medium long term. Right. So for example, I work with people with a number of different degrees. I work with people who've done economics at university, people who've done engineering, people who've done English language, but fundamentally I think we all possess a certain skill set that allows us to operate as a consultant.
Right.
And they specifically are a structured evidence based approach to problem solving, the ability to communicate with a wide range of stakeholders.
Okay.
And what I probably say is the most important one is the ability to be a bit of a sponge. You need to assimilate a large amount of knowledge in a short period of time. So I did civil engineering at university.
Right.
I worked as a civil engineer before I went into consultancy. So my expertise is really around that profession, but I've been involved in work that I have no expertise, let's say, in that field. So very quickly I've had to acclimatise to the client setting to be able to understand what the real issues are and what the potential solutions are and how I can work with the client to identify those and implement solutions.
So, I mean, okay, so you actually mentioned quite a few things there, like fundamentally looking at innovative solutions, right? I'm just struggling because I don't think, how do you do that?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
No, it's a great question. I was
thinking. I mean, if I may go on, no, it's all good. We're blessed. Poorly. Like you could be street smart, do you know? But would your street smarts get you far within a management consultant firm? Do you know? Or fundamentally, you said that you did civil engineering. You know, so you're quite academic.
Yeah.
You know, even your family background is, you know, you got lawyers and you got like bankers, you got everyone having in your family settings. So you come from quite academia or academic background. But can someone who isn't...
Are you basically saying if you've not been to university, can you become a management consultant?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the truth is anyone can be a consultant because if someone's willing to pay for your advice, effectively you're a consultant.
That's true.
So by that very nature, yes, the type of sphere I would work in, I would suppose we work with clients who, when you become a certain size as a company, there are a number of other challenges you're introduced to. So for example, if your revenue is in excess of £1 million, there are a number of back office management requirements that are needed to run a business of £1 million plus revenue.
Right.
And with that comes a number of generalist business issues that I would say a degree education being educated to degree level, you're able to acclimatise to those types of business issues. However, you would say there are a number of entrepreneurs who haven't been to university who set up those companies and who run those successfully. So the truth is, no. But one thing I do know is when you're applying for the position, say I was applying for, I know you needed to be educated to, let's say, master's level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Now, we talk about problem solving, obviously, and that's fundamentally what you do.
Yeah.
Books, give me resources, give me tools. I just want almost my listeners just to be like, okay, Paul's got this. So
yeah, definitely. So
this is what he was doing. Let me look into that because that could work for me. It might not work for them. But
it's interesting. So as I said, I was working as a civil engineer, and I was asking these questions when I wanted to get into management consultancy. And one of the key things I was told was I needed to start building my business acumen.
Okay.
You need to have your finger on the pulse of what's happening generally in business. What are the trends that are impacting the way we live, operate and go to work in this world?
Okay. Where were you going for that? Was there any websites, any?
Well, yeah. So first of all, in terms of resources, things like The Economist,
okay,
they are great because they cover a number of industries and they also look at them from different angles and they take an evidence-based approach, which is great. The Financial Times, because effectively you have to follow the money.
Yeah.
You need to understand how that works. So that's a great resource. So anything where you can understand what are the issues facing large businesses and what are the potential solutions that are out there to help improve those businesses. So you're therefore building your commercial acumen.
Yeah.
The other thing is there are a number of books available that help you from anything from breaking into the industry.
Okay.
So the type of thing that you need to start doing and the structured problem solving approaches that you need to take. And also there's a number of books that help specifically with like the interviewing process. Now, one way that you get into consultancy, it's notorious for the interviewing process, which is centered around how well you perform in executing a case study,
right,
and aptitude testing. So there are a number of books that help you to get geared up to taking those case studies and performing well in those. But fundamentally, I would say it comes down to how comfortable you are in your own knowledge and how you're able to communicate that to someone under pressure.
Hey guys, before we return to the episode, I just wanted to say I appreciate you listening. And if you'd like to get involved, then please visit www.blacticulate.com for more information. Now let's get back to the episode. Let's bring it as Blacticulate, it's all about Black excellence. So are the challenges of being a management consultant, what are they? And does it relate to the fact that you're Black or not?
Yeah, so I think in any professional setting, you do deal with the Black. But with being Black, it is something that you have to deal with. It's interesting because I was at a talk the other day, and I'll share this with people and the listeners, and it was talking about how Black ethnic minority groups and women generally perform quite on an even keel with their white male counterparts, up to a point in business where qualifications are the most important thing. However, when employee and colleague confidence becomes more important, there seems to be a stark drop-off in business. Now, that's not my opinion. That was just something that a theory that was
that's what
someone presented to me. Yeah, and I thought it was very interesting because it shows you that there are a number of minority groups that are struggling, and I would say the same thing that's happening. And I think what happens is sometimes it's hard for people to be comfortable in their own skin when they're from an ethnic minority background because you're going.
Yeah, explain on that.
So, for example, I'm of West Indian descent and I grew up in Tower Hamlets. I'm actually a Cockney Caribbean by that sense.
Yeah.
And there are a number of things that go with being a Cockney Caribbean. Right. It's funny because I could sort of maybe dilute that and try to be something I'm not to fit in with some of my, say, posher white counterparts.
Right, yeah. Okay, so...
However, by doing that, what I become is I become a crap version of myself.
Yeah.
And I find that it's an internal problem / external problem, but one of the challenges is being yourself and embracing your Black culture.
Yeah. No, I'm in total agreement with you, actually. I think it's really quite telling as well when you're talking about the fact that, you know, black or minority groups and women perform on equal levels when qualifications are the most important thing in a work setting. But when it comes down to confidence and, you know, I guess cultural fit, for one of a better word, then obviously there's a stark drop. I mean, I see that all the time. And that's always going to be, isn't it? Or what can we do?
It's funny because I think it's starting to improve.
Yeah.
I do because I do mentoring.
Yes. Let's speak about that.
Yeah. So I'm part of a group called the Amos Bursary.
Amos Bursary.
Yeah. And the group was set up by Baroness Valerie Amos, and the goal of the group is to help academically able young black men from African and Caribbean backgrounds who, let's say, they have the intellect, they have the intelligence, but often they're the first person maybe in their family to have gone to university.
Right.
So the access to that social capital they might not have. They might not have, you know, experience or exposure to, say, some of the softer skills that are needed to be successful in a professional setting. So the goal of the bursary is to provide them with a number of training materials and access to a network that helps them to build those skills.
Okay, sweet. It's called Amos Bursary.
Yeah. So I mentor a young chap who, to be fair, he could probably mentor me because he's that brilliant. But what's great is just that I'm older than him. I have more experience, so I'm able to share my experiences, and we can talk about some of the things that he's going through, some of his aspirations for life. So like he wants to get into wealth management, and I'm there as his trusted advisor, helping him grow his career.
Yeah, awesome.
And what I was saying about when you coming back to your question about is it going to get better?
Yeah,
it can only get better with things like that because it's all about experience and growth. Like, when you start learning from other people and you start to become more comfortable in who you are, because you've already got the academic capability, you're going to be successful. And I think confidence in what's different will start to come from other colleagues just with time. But what's important is you just be yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a recurring theme. You really champion just being yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
there's no right answer.
No, but are there, particularly in your profession, is being yourself, what is that? Do you know what I mean?
Because
what makes
that's true. Because if you're if you're selfish and greedy, I don't think it's going to help you. Or if you like to take the mickey out of too many people, no. Okay, good question, and you've got me there. I suppose what I would say is you have to be agile and you have to build good relationships, and it's about building good relationships with your peers as well as your senior counterparts. I find and by that I mean is by trying to develop your empathy and to understand where other people are coming from, but understand what makes them tick as a person. Because then you can start to build a meaningful relationship. And what you find is it don't matter where you're from, whether you're black, white or green or from Mars. When you can start to connect on that personal level, you can build meaningful relationships. And when the bigger the relationship, the bigger the chance of success. Because you have...
Yeah, I mean, I get all of this, and obviously, you know, I get it personally. But I mean, what I'm really hoping is those who are listening, obviously, know Paul's amazing because he is, and we'll, if you want, we'd like to get his details so you can get in touch, right? No, but I almost want the nitty gritty.
The nitty gritty.
Do you know? Yeah. I mean, it's not easy, especially me putting you on the spot like this, whether or not you can give nitty gritties. But how would one go, say, for instance, to build a good relationship with a senior? What advice can you give that? I mean, like your mentee. What do you say to him? One
thing I do say is that you've got, in the short term, you can't. It's hard. I don't think you can be soft, and by that I mean is you can't be sensitive to, let's say, things like the way people speak to you.
Okay.
I don't think you can be sensitive to the way you think someone's looked at you, or how you perceive someone might be treating you in the short term. What you've got to be is, I found you've got to be goal focused.
Right.
Because what does happen is sometimes when you're black, sometimes people are weighing up other things about you before they're listening to actually what you say.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you're sensitive about those things, it can hold you back. Because forever you're not thinking about the idea, if you're thinking about the dynamic, it holds you back.
Yeah.
So you've got to focus on the idea, and that's more easier said than done. So I've effectively, just the nitty gritty, I had to toughen up. And I have had times where I know people are thinking, who is this beeping
Can
beep.
you explain more on that? Explain more on that. Give us that example.
Well, no, definitely. You can see sometimes people are looking and they're saying, how does this young black guy know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
I know that. You can just pick it up. You have to trust your intuition on those signals. How does he know what he's talking about? And the truth is, I find that I've had to possibly be slightly better than some of my peers to get noticed. That's how I felt. That may be a personal thing, but that's what I have noticed. And by that I mean is you've got to. I found myself having a feeling I had to do longer hours. I had to do more research. I had to just become that much better on my subject to get noticed. And by doing that, I was able to overcome those difficult circumstances where people, let's say, were more interested in how I knew what I knew instead of listening to what I knew.
What you knew, yeah. No, I get that. Okay, well, Paulie, listen, man, we're about to hit that mark, pretty much, which is all good. I do want to ask, what's next for you? As in, like, what's your next steps? And yeah, let's start with that. What's your next steps?
Yes, so fundamentally, I want to start my own business, but that's not in the near future. So within the next 2 years. The reason I got into management consultancy is because you get exposure to different businesses. You learn. You're in an environment where you can build your business acumen. So I wasn't really ready to start my own thing, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing now, and I'm learning a hell of a lot every day. So I feel like I'm getting closer, and my plan is to carry on building before I start my own thing.
Okay. But you're not going to tell us what that own thing is. You're keeping that to your chest?
I'm going to keep that to my chest if that's all right with you.
Listen,
you can't tell everyone your secrets, but no, I've got a few ideas.
Okay, so there's no way that... What would be the phase 2? What would, if I was to come back to you? Because I almost want to keep you accountable. New Year's resolutions and all of that.
I would say the phase 2 is ask to look at my business plan.
Okay, so in 6 months' time,
I should have my business plan finished for what I want to start my business.
Guys, you heard that? So we gotta holler at Paul Henry and say, "Where's your business plan at in 6 months' time?" Brilliant. Well, just almost want to give you free rein. Is there any advice that you don't think you've given? Is there anything that I haven't asked that perhaps I should ask that you can definitely, that'll be value to my listeners, of value?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely. So specifically, if you do want a career in management consultancy, start building your capabilities, specifically your communication skills in a one-to-one setting with people. And that comes through practice. Practice doing the case interviews. You can't have enough practice. Prepare yourself for certain questions that you know are going to come. So when people ask you questions like, why do you want to do this? Make sure you're prepared. Look inside of yourself and try and understand what it is that really is driving you towards that, and try and develop a succinct, coherent response.
Okay.
And I can only urge that comes through practice. It's funny, there's a line in, if anyone's read Great Gatsby, where he says he practices poise, elocution, and how to attain it. I think that's it.
I don't know. I haven't read it, but we'll find it.
You'll find it. But it's true. Like, I've sometimes just stand in the mirror and practice how to have impact when you're communicating with people, because you're going to be going up against a number of individuals who are very well rehearsed and who have been focused on getting into this industry for a long time. So it's very competitive in that sense. So just focus on how you can stand out.
Brilliant.
What insight you can offer that's different.
Brilliant. And if we wanted to get in touch, can we get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, so you can feel free to add me. I'm quite sociable, really. Okay,
brilliant. So no Twitter, no social media?
I am on LinkedIn. Twitter, but I'm crap at using it, to be fair.
Yeah, okay.
I look at it for news because it's a great news source. I should have probably said that.
Well, you still can. We're still on tape.
In terms of, follow some of the large business news publications like the Harvard Business Review.
The Harvard Business Review, okay.
Because they have links to great articles, and so definitely get active on Twitter. I should probably be more active in engaging with people, but I'm not really good at using it.
Okay, it's all good. I mean, you've given us some gems for sure. Yeah. And I hope you can join me in saying This was a good interview, I think. Conversation. Look at Paul. Why are you shaking your head? You know, Bill, you're not very comfortable.
No.
Stuff, anyway, you go. Hey guys, we really appreciate you listening, and if you have any feedback, please leave it in the comment section below. Also, all the info about the guests, the links and the resources we speak about will be in the description below. And last but not least, please do get in touch if you can teach us how you do what it is you do. Because after all, Blacticulate is all about empowering and upskilling the community. Thanks guys, you're the best. See you soon.